community leader, an educator, a mentor, a life coach, entrepreneur, patron, and philanthropist. She's been in Canada for more than 30 years, obtained her master's degree from the University of Manitoba, and successfully completed her coursework as a PhD candidate. She has published a few papers in international journals and presented paperworks at international conferences. She is a dynamic information technology management professional, an instructor in University of Winnipeg and Red River College Polytechnic. She previously held two managerial positions at the City of Winnipeg. As a philanthropist, she is the founding member of Women in Cybersecurity Western Canada, a patron of Ghana Mission Queen Girls Up, Saint Paul High School Board of Directors, and Red River Polytechnic Industry Advisor for the IT Strategic Council and chair of both Project Management and Business Information Technology Advisory Committees. Lastly, she was a finalist in the 2021 Top 25 Canadian Immigrant Awards. So, in spite of being a career woman, she devotes religiously her time with her three children and a loving husband. Our speaker for today is no other than Juanita DeSouza Huletey. Let's give her a big applause.
Thank you, Maria, for such an excellent introduction. I really love how you summarized my bio. Lots of effort. Good job. Very much appreciated. Yes, I am here to share my experience as an immigrant the last 30 plus years and how I navigated both personal and professional landscape here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, by not just working hard to make that future goal a reality, but being smart about it and living living life like a marathon, not a sprint. I will be touching on things that needs to become part of you, habits day in and day out. So thanks for being here. And they said they can hear me clearly.
Um,
Is it me? Can you hear now?
No, you're clear.
Okay.
Yep, I can hear you.
So anyway, thanks for coming. It looks like you guys, most of you could be immigrant or just want some tips to navigate the landscape of life in Winnipeg or Canada as general. So I like to pass this on. So without further ado, go to the agenda. So as you can see, the introduction, a very brief introduction, and then I'll share light on my journey, both professional and personal, and then integration, which is a key component and a key factor of what we need as immigrants to integrate, assimilate, and be successful in whatever we do, both personally and professionally. And then, networking and volunteering plays a key part of that. Remember, you've come to a new home, a new land. You may just have your family and, a few people. How do you navigate that landscape? So I'll touch on that as a key component of integration. And also mentors and sponsors are very key part of it. So I'll share some tips and some stories about myself. And then some resources. Some may seem obvious, but it's very important to touch on some of those, especially the use of social media. And then some next steps for you since you are in this conference in terms of what you would do. And then some final reflection, which is just for me, from my part, is just, some quote and stuff like that. So half hour will not do justice, but I'll try to get through this quickly, at the same time ensuring the messages are being delivered so that you can find something meaningful from this session. So I'll do my part. Next slide, please. So I would like to thank to Inspire Conference Committee members for a great job and inviting me for this. I've been on different platforms with RRC speaking, especially Talent Mash, and also to some of the students on interview sessions and stuff like that. I really love the video and creativity display in putting this conference together, and all the amazing speakers that are here to share their experience stories and give you tips and tools that you need. So as the topic says, pathway to professional prosperity as an immigrant in Canada, which has become one of my popular speaking topics since 2020, when I presented the first version at the 2020 Talent March for RRC Polytech. Actually, it was my son who convinced me to write a piece and post it on LinkedIn. And that had opened doors for me. So those of you can go on LinkedIn and write it. It was just a small piece, and I was just reflecting how grateful I am. So I will, how I navigated both my personal and professional landscape and stuff like that. So as per the description, I'll talk about my journey, my career path, my achievement, and things like that, and some tips. The picture is my family made in Canada. Like Maria's, I'm married. I have 3 sons. Ronald, he's 30 years old. He's a lawyer. Ernesto, business, and Pete, 24. But I'm the boss in the house, even though they are all male. Next slide, please. They know that. So anyway, I will touch on my both personal and professional. I'll start with personal, but this picture tells the story. Both of these pictures were taken in 1990. This professional picture, shows when I was at IBM, the main hub, the server room, which today they will call the data center. The second picture is me standing a few minutes from my residence, waiting for the bus to go to work. And those of you, we experienced those freezing weather this year. And for me, it's all about determination and perseverance, focusing on positivity of every situation, turning every challenge to opportunities, and the experience of having the growth mindset and learning from it, and pursuing excellence in what I do. Well, like I said, just talking about my journey can take a whole hour, so I'll try and be as brief as possible. I'm originally from Ghana and came to Canada in 1990 for an internship with IBM right after university. Prior to that, I've never traveled outside Africa. I've never taken a plane before, nor left home. I'm always surrounded with my family and my siblings. I've never worked. My first real work experience was here in Winnipeg. Other than volunteering at church and assisting my mom with her business during vacation and some props for research at school, no. People who knew me then before I came to Canada, both high school and university, would tell you Juanita was shy, quiet, and bookworm. So what happened? Things happened. So first of all, my flight coming to Winnipeg delayed. So I was stranded at the airport because it was the long weekend. I was forced to talk to strangers who assisted me to get to a hotel and got me a hotel. Then on Monday, without knowing and understanding the bus system here, I missed my bus to work. So what happened? I have to talk to strangers again. Well, the other shock was the weather. It was too cold for me. There was sometimes I'll see a sun out like today and think, oh, it's warm. And I'll go out and it's freezing cold. For the first 3 months that I was here, I never met anybody from my country or continent. I had a roommate who I met through the airport. That's a whole different story. I can't talk about that today. And so I was in cultural isolation. I haven't met anybody from Africa or Ghana or someone who looked like me. I was homesick. I wasn't eating my food I'm used to. For the first time, I have to learn to eat broccoli, corn, yellow corn, and things like that. Then for work, for the first time, I have a whole computer to myself. I've never had that. The building was the TD building. That's where IBM was then. Was fascinating for me. Then, I didn't know how to type. I have to learn how to type. I realized I couldn't type. Yes, it was a big challenge. Even though I did computer science, I know a lot of the theory. I didn't have a lot of the hands-on experience coming from a developing country. So that was a challenge. So yes, there were challenges, but it wasn't time for me to cry, but rather figure out how I can quickly learn what I need to learn to be effective. So I need to do a lot of adjustment and learn quickly. So my focus was not on the issue, but how to overcome them and what I need to do, including having my dad as, my life coach, my mentor, and on a dull speed. So my dad gave me some guidance, take notes, blah, blah, blah. So within I would say a month and a half, I was typing. I was able to set up these computer systems effectively. My boss was so impressed. He even gave me, tickets to go watch the Jets game. At that time, the Jets were in Winnipeg. Well, other things happened, right? So, having worked at a prestigious organization like IBM, I thought, oh, it should be easy for me to get a job when I decided to go back to school. Unlike today, where students can work anywhere in Canada, then you can only work on campus. So what do I have to do? Shy, on comfort. I have to get out of my comfort zone, knocking on doors, getting out, talking to professors, not just in my department, outside, human ecology, to get a job. So I landed a program advisor job with the computer services department in addition to other work. As you can see, the anticipation of event was quite different from what happened, and I was no longer there, shy, quiet. It was a survivor for me, and trying to focus on my goal and what I need to do to progress. Sometimes as immigrants, we just tend, okay, instead of looking at what can I do, focusing on the positive, we tend to go on to the negative. Professionally, these skills that I've developed, as by accident, you may call it, have helped me in school and future careers. I was no more afraid to deal with difficult situations or be in an uncomfortable situation. Again, for my career, one of my first job after university was with International Institute for Sustainable Development. That job was actually a fluke. All I saw there was data analysis and something. And actually, it was one of my instructors who was a consultant there who said, Juanita, you should apply with it. I was like, I don't think you could. Come on, you could do it. Apply for it. And I ended up getting it. So having that growth mindset and an instructor who believes in you, you could use as a mentor, was the way to go. I've had, like Maria said, managerial positions in the city of Winnipeg. I was hired within a year. There was a managerial position, supervisor for IT. Under the old Juanita, I wouldn't even have thought of applying for it because I would think, oh, no, that's not me. Well, I applied. Yes, I know I didn't have any leadership experience. So the area I was going, the manager then was like, well, you don't have any leadership experience. So, and I just said, well, by then I've developed confidence through all these unanticipated things that have happened. And I said, well, how can I gain leadership experience if I'm not given the opportunity? I believe that's why we have probation. So instead of 6-month probation, please, I can do 3 months. After 3 months, if you don't think I'm right for the job, yeah, then that could be it. Well, they tried me, and that manager, today he's in Calgary, the head of the assessment department, has been my mentor, right? So as you can see, and then my job as the first Black and a woman to to head the IT division of the Winnipeg Police Service and executive member, I was discouraged by so many. But I went there. Honestly, I learned so much. Being on the board of directors for St. Paul's College and how I got on the board is being involved because my boys were going to school there, right? So again, don't say, oh, I speak a different language or my English is not good enough. And, you need to get out of your comfort zone, right? Being involved, volunteering and doing things. So as you can see, and I need to move on from here, it was like a roller coaster. but but then I was focused on the ultimate goal. I never anticipated any of these things that happened to me, but I took everything or a challenge as an opportunity to learn and grow. And I did grow from a girl from Ghana that never thought she could do the things she did within a couple of months with her first ever job at IBM, right? Eating different food, talking to unfamiliar situation, going to a hockey game, and the list goes on and on. So you never have to take your eye off your goal, learning from others, be proactive, looking at every challenge as an opportunity, be persistent, brave, and don't pretend you know anything. The other big thing that helped me was the art of asking questions. In all those process, I ask questions. I don't know something, I go and ask. So for me in Canada, it's my perseverance, passion, and willingness to learn and adapt and embrace change. And I'll tell you more on the next slide. Next slide, please. So for me, one of the key things is integration as immigrants. When I teach students, when I give them assignment, I said, yeah, I'm from Ghana. I'm not going to be with only Ghanaians and Nigerians. I need to mingle people up. I'm from the Philippines. I'm not only going to be with Philippines. I'm from India. No. The big thing is integration. Your desire to adapt and learn the new culture. Again, some of these experiences that I've described earlier, both professional and personal, have shaped my path and allowed me to integrate. Because it gave me that growth mindset to know that I can learn and do certain things. And having that positive growth mindset, using every situation as a learning opportunity and getting out of my comfort zone. You have nothing to lose to try, right? One of the biggest arguments that's used by immigrants that rather than assimilate into our new home, we cling to, our new people and people we know and being familiar with, and then sometimes we hide behind culture, not to assimilate or integrate. Oh, I don't want to lose my culture. I want my kids to grow up into my culture. I'm not saying forget your culture, but you need a balance. And that balance is up to individual. I can't tell you do it this way or do it that way. If if you are my métis, yes, I may you can give me a little bit more background. I can suggest some stuff. But at the end of the day, you are responsible. My boys were born here, all my 3 boys, but they go to Ghana regularly. They are in touch with their cousins back home. This year they visited their grandma and their cousins. Even one of them wants to go back and set up business in talks with the cousins. So you could do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. But don't have an answering machine with your language on it when you are in Canada and you apply for a job and they want to leave a message and the answering machine is just talking about, they can understand what you're talking about. That alone will put people off. Okay, next slide, please. So you are in Canada, you need to integrate. The responsibility is yours, right? The more integrated you are, the easier it is to thrive in your new home. Doing well in school is great, but what about after school? Right? Social and cultural awareness of your new home. Right? How do you do that? By getting involved. Those of you who are part of this conference, being, volunteering to take leadership taking a group project, right? Your community. If you have kids, your kids are in school, get to know. That's how you learn, right? Don't be speaking your language, in a professional setting, because sometimes people even think, it's you are saying something about them. If you have kids, don't be disconnected from your new home, right? So, for example, you have kids, your kids say, oh, Mom, I want to go skiing. Well, you don't know anything about skiing. Yes, But find out. We have Google. It's our friend. Google's key. Ask them, oh, is anybody from their class going? Get out of that comfort zone. Talk to their parent and learn about skiing. Right? Don't get disconnected from your new home. Right? So, and then the other one is, opportunities are always available to you. You just have to seek them out. If you read my article, I've had Canadians show me how to make turkey. Thanksgiving, we don't celebrate that. I need to understand, what is Thanksgiving about? What am I doing? I didn't know how to make turkey. I got somebody through my kids, through my school, my kids too, I learned to integrate a lot, to show me how to do turkey. And she would tell you now I do turkey better than her. Right? Let's go to the next slide. Although there are ways of integration, like I said, networking, I'll be getting into those. There are barriers as well. That being said, there are barriers, and again, an hour will not allow me to get into this. I'm going to be very quick. Canadian job experience. You lack Canadian job. Yes, you may not have work here in Canada, but it's about how you demonstrate what you have on your resume. Then subsequent the interview and the follow-up of the skills you bring to the table for that job you are applying for, that you think they need, and the ability to have assimilated and integrated successfully. Who are you using for references? As a student, you may not have Canadian references, and I'll be talking about that. But your instructors are there, your mentors are there, right? Your desire, the job market and industry connections. That's why you are here. How can you get it? You don't wait till you are done school. Start researching your industry. Who have some similarity? You'll be surprised, even within your netted community, there will be people there you can start talking to. Volunteering and things like that, right? Foreign experience. Yes, there is no foreign experience, right? But again, that some people look at that, but it's our job to educate HR and hiring managers that the credentials we bring count. And wherever I have worked, I have done that, right? So, for example, I hired 2 people, and when I was away, they told me that my project leaders were going through the application. So when I came, they had selected 6 people. And I looked at it, I just went through this. Oh, no, these are all the 6 we have. And then I said, oh, I went through and I saw 2 applications. Yeah, they don't have Canadian experience. Their foreign experience were being discounted. But I look at the job we had, they had every skill that we needed. And they did a good job articulating the skills they are bringing to the table. So I said, they have everything. And they said, oh, no, they don't have. I said, okay, where in the job description did we say they need Canadian experience? I said, I want them to be part of writing the test. HR, I said, well, I'm the hiring manager. I want them to write the test. Guess what? When they wrote the test, the girl from India got 85%. The guy from Singapore got 74%. The 6 people they have, 5 failed, only 1 passed with 65%. We got to the interview. These people have assimilated already. They know how to answer questions. They know how to make the eye contact. We hired them. And let me say, today, they are the best employees we have. They have no Canadian experience. Yeah, their foreign credentials are being discarded. But it's how, like I said, you are able to demonstrate that on your resume, and the interview, you show your confidence and stuff like that. So even yesterday, we were interviewing somebody. I can see she's new. She could do the job, but I can tell you she hadn't integrated. So there were a lot of things she didn't know. That cost her a lot. So I can't emphasize about integration. Foreign credentials. You may all have been engineers, doctors, and now maybe you are doing tech because it's a way to get onto the, and that's fine. But you should also look. Some of us have fought that foreign credentials should be recognized. So I know nursing, engineering, they've shortened all that for people who come in there, right? So it's very important to look at, I know Hydro, for example, have a program for foreigners when they come. Nursing, they have a program. Go and talk to people and find how can you get into that job market. If it's a career change for you, that you are here, that is great. Okay? Canadian job references. Again, that's why you need to volunteer, and I'll be talking more about, and integrate your instructors should be your volunteers, right? Active participation in class, being the lead. I've been references to most of my students, but I'll be good reference to the ones that were active in class and volunteer to take lead role on project. That doesn't mean they are the best student, but they are the best who wants to assimilate and integrate. Okay? Language barriers. If you know you have a language barrier, I talk faster, I know myself. Figure out. At that point, I even told my boss, I think I need to do A, B, and C. He said, no, you're good. Biases, conscious and unconscious, exist. And I can't have time. I need to go through some of this slide. I was telling Maria, I have a lot to share on this. But it's there. It exists. But it's all about how you handle it. And sometimes it's a time for us to educate them. Okay, next slide, please. As I said, for me, I never got any job without networking. My current job, I got it because the CIO at WCB then, I was on the same advisory board with him. The wife and I, we were volunteer for PMI. So some of my volunteer or position, my part-time positions and other things, being on the board of governance, is all through some volunteering and what they know you can do, and somebody will recommend you. So kudos to those of you who are here at this conference and also volunteering. You need to plan your networking, at your goal for networking, right? So we talk about community of common interest, industry, professional membership, activities. It's a two-way street, right? So it's very, very important for networking, make it worth your while. You are coming to this conference. Did you plan it? Did you decide which event you want to go, why you want to go there, what you are getting out, who you want to connect to, which, even though it's virtual, they have a networking session, which table or networking event you want to go to and stuff like that. And you need to start early. You can't, don't wait till you are done school and in the job market before you start building relationship. And, no. You need to start early, and that goes into building the relationship and trust. Trust is very, very important as part of networking. I hired somebody for system analyst because he was volunteer. He came, was new immigrant, had the skill set, was able to, and then one of the PMs said, this guy would be good. And I took his role. He was the best. He was hired. No Canadian experience, nothing, all those barriers. But sometimes we use that as an excuse not to get out of our comfort zone. Okay. So already you go, how do I start? You have people within your domain, right? Your colleagues, your instructors, your friends of friends, community leaders, people of common interest, recommendations, so set a goal for your networking event. Don't just show up and just have fun, talk to people and go. At the end of the day, what did you get? And there are so many networking events, right, that happen. Some virtually like this one, some in person, webinars, you can look at professional and personal networking activities, right? Trade shows, AGMs, luncheons, you can start golfing, there is so much. And then social media. LinkedIn, you find a lot of, I was just telling Maria, we did a segment for Women's Day. There were people who were immigrant, and most of us there, I mean, out of the 6, I think 4 of us were immigrant. We're able to share tips with these people who showed up, right? And we've connected now with them on LinkedIn, right? And then the support system you need, know that you are not in it alone, right? You are not in this alone. You need people. So how do you get that support system without your network? You apply for a job at WCB. Oh, I think Juanita works there. Let me check in. You message Juanita, hello, blah, blah, blah. Okay, how much time do I have?
You still have 10 more minutes.
Okay.
Still right.
Okay. So again, next slide, please. Determine the event and activities, like I said, professional, social, whatever it is, it could be your community leaders are having, something to celebrate Women's Day. Go there. You never know who you will meet, who will inspire you. Do your research. Like this event, the number of speakers, RRC have done a great job. Which sessions are you going? Why am I going to that speaker session? What do I want out of it? Plan the day, how you want to use your time wisely. Don't show up at a networking event without a plan. Dress for the event. I see, though it's virtual, people will just be in their, what is it called? Their house clothes or, sleeping clothes. No. Prepare your elevator speech. And that's great. That's very important. Yeah. Speech that you want to introduce. Hello, I'm Juanita DeSouza Huletey, and I'm at this event. I'm a student at RRC. I'll be finishing blah, blah, blah. And I read about your company, and it looks like you guys are doing exciting things, and that will get the person interested, right? Plan for the uncomfortable and avoid talking about things that will put you into trouble, like politics and things that will put people. So if you do your research, you avoid that. And then you need to also plan for those uncomfortable situations, right? When somebody, and find a way to get out of it. Okay, next slide, please. So again, this slide speaks for itself because I want to talk about volunteering. So, take a professional notepad with you, focus on your networking goals and listen. Don't force conversations. Do not try and force conversation. If they are talking about something, you just feel like you have to talk. No. And sometimes you may have to initiate the conversation to meet the goal that you are there. Maintain eye contact, which is a big thing in Canada. And follow up, whatever, through an email, LinkedIn, whatever you need to do. Next slide, please. Volunteering helps you and help others. And I can't stress that enough. Maria volunteering to do this, we've already connected. We actually have something in interest. And I say, you know what, let me know, what you want to do. I'm here. I found out cybersecurity, whatever, I'm here to support. Just based on what I've seen her done, I'm more than willing to connect her with my contacts. It's hard to find time. The benefits of volunteering because of my career distance have been through volunteering. Even at work, they need somebody to lead United Way. I did. Can you believe how much door that opened, the people I met? So it provides a sense of fulfillment, and even it's good for your mental health, right? Connects you with others, your social awareness and relationship skills. It gets you out of your comfort zone, especially if you try to lead an event or do something. It builds your self-confidence. The Minister of Health, I got to meet him when I volunteer for so. It provides opportunities for you to learn because those skills from volunteering, you can transfer it onto your resume. And that's part of the integration that they know, you've been volunteer for your community for this, for United Way, for, children, hospital, you've done this or that. It helps expand your network and advances your career. Okay, next slide, please. So this is just list of volunteering opportunities. If you haven't heard, there's a site, Volunteer Manitoba. Try and go there. There's lots of volunteer opportunities. I'm the patron for the Ghanaian Student Union. Most of them will tell you the first thing I tell them when they land here, start volunteering. one of the students got a job, which helping him with his nominee thing. Through the volunteer process he went through, and she said, they call me auntie. Auntie, thank you so much. I wouldn't have gotten this job if I hadn't volunteered. Your RRC community already, professional organization, PMI, ISACA, there are so many non-profit like United Way, religious organization, your church. I volunteered to teach Sunday school for my kids because I want them to attend. There were some challenges. Oh, they can't hear how you speak, but okay. And then when it comes to mentors, next slide. Mentorship is so key for you, especially we as immigrants, to be able to integrate successfully. They are the people who tell us things, give us feedback, building that trusting relationship. People sometimes confuse mentorship with coaching. Mentorship are live coaches. Coaching is like it has an end. So they are trusted advisors, people that you having a situation at work or school or something you can count on, and they can advise you. They are your role model. And it's not all mentors that you have to say, okay, I like them or I know them. Sometimes you can just admire them, right? So for me, the first female for HP, I follow everything she does because her way of doing things resonates with me. So I pick a few tips from them. It's a long-term relationship with focus on growth, right? And if there's no trust, then and you don't take the feedback they are providing you, then it doesn't work. And that person have knowledge and skills that will help you with your career path and growth. So sometimes mentors can be within your company or outside. Some of you can use your instructors as mentors. They provide you guidance and motivation. They help grow your professional network, right? They also provide you feedback on soft and hard skills. When people are going for interview, I will sit down with them and provide them feedback on what they should do. They are not doing eye contact. And sometimes you can turn your mentor
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, there. I think there's some internet issue. But do you still see the screen, Juanita, or the presentation screen? Okay, I can see mentors. I think there's an issue on the internet of Juanita. Let's wait for her. Let's wait for her to join again.
What happened?
Okay. Yeah, I think there is an internet issue.
Was it at my end? Because I could see everybody or your end.
Yeah. Now, yeah, I think it
Okay, can I
looks
go
good.
through the slide quickly then?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
Okay, sponsors.
so yeah, I mean, mentorship. Can we go back to mentorship briefly because it's a very important
Absolutely.
one.
Yeah.
And it's yeah, I think no, okay, yeah. So mentors are very important. It's a two-way street. If your mentor don't trust you or you go behind it, give you advice, you are not taking it, it becomes an issue to mentor that person. Find somebody with that you can click to. There are some people who say, "Can you be my mentor?" I'm not even from their industry. I know I will be effective, so I tell them right there. Sponsors are very important, right? They are usually senior colleagues with authority and influence, and usually they should be within your industry organization, right? They help identify and promote high performance within the organization, and they should have a success track record. You can't have sponsors who only want their own achievement. Sometimes people will go, "Oh yeah, they are just using it for their own promotion." That is wrong. Okay, they have to be a leader, not just by title. And I always emphasize that. I actually have a presentation called The Art of Leadership. There are some people, Trump. Is Trump a good leader? No. What did he do to his followers? He just uses them. So make sure that person is a leader who is not just is there to influence, right? To inspire, right? And to motivate you. And also to be there for you when you need them and to raise you. It's not just about them. So the goal is to advance your career and skills, and that will spell success for the business and himself. You also make him look good. And for those of us who struggle to rise through the rank, it's a good, especially women, minorities, to have a sponsor who can raise your profile, talk to you, give you special project at work so that you be more visible, and they really help with higher career levels. Can we go to the next slide, please? So for you, what do you need? Your part is to consistently deliver and exceed expectation. When you have this sponsor, you want to show what you can do, right? You have to take initiative, hard work, determination. For me, WCB, how did I even get to be, after a year I was there to chair the United Way. That opened so many other doors for me. My other volunteer at St. Paul's, our VP for legal, knows somebody, they have the cottage together. And so Juanita is there. She's this, she's that. That's why they got me to do it. And like I said, there's nothing I've done without networking, right? You have to demonstrate strong skills of performance. And I can have lots of examples, be visible project. Take like the United Way I did at assessment. I did the property assessment website, take an extra volunteer roles in your organization, and stuff like that. And differentiate yourself from coworkers. Don't get into the gossip thing, right? Get out of those gossip thing. And it's a great advancing career advancing tool. So, again, next slide, please. Describe, decide what you want. Sometimes you may just need mentor to start with, and then later on, once you land your job, you start deciding, okay, who will be my sponsor? How do I get there? And who will be more effective? Who can I connect with? Next slide, please. So some of the resources here is social media. It's a critical part of what we do today. Be very wise about it. I go on and check on people who applied for jobs. They are two separate worlds, right? So you need to separate your personal and your professional. Don't go where you're on a party drunk and post that picture on there. Social media allows you to at least, more important, to discover new trends and ideas, connect with existing or old friends, knowing what's happening around the world. So it's a good platform. Whatever the reason, it's an opportunity to even get mentors, right? But be careful. Google should be your friend. You don't know something, Google it. Personal and professional community, build that community. You are in IT, Tech Manitoba. There are so many things that you can join and find out more. Certification and training. Project management always pave the way. If that's an interest, go and take it. quality management. Some of these certifications are things you can look at. Okay, next step, next slide, please. So one of the key things I always say is next steps for you is self-assessment, knowing yourself. You know yourself better, So once you know yourself, based on, you do a self-assessment. What are my goals? Where am I? Where do I want to be? That kind of thing. Identify and explore the opportunities to fill the gap. Look for mentor, integration, networking event, everything we've discussed. Where are the missing gaps, and make steps to get there. Focus on your desired goal and aspiration, right? Don't say, oh, so and so did it this way and got it. We are all different. We all have, we are all come with different things. The lack of skills that you may have in specific area or subject matter, start planning of how you're going to get that. Always prepare and plan. And everything I've done, I've prepared and planned for it. I have that mindset. Continuous reflection and review of, oh, why didn't I get that job? What could I have done differently? The key things. Sorry, I have to rush this. But yeah, next steps, please. So I'll pause for questions now. And like I said, 30 minutes won't do justice to this, but I hope I've given you what you need to progress to the next thing.
Yes, we have a question from one of the students, from Edwin, and he asks, frustration is everywhere. How do you keep motivated nowadays?
Yeah, frustration is everywhere, but again, like I said, focus on your goal. There are challenges. I still face challenges every day, but there are certain things you don't have control over. There are things you have control over. So focus on that. Make time for yourself, what I call, your self-care, and keep moving. Don't let anybody bring you down, and that comes with positive attitude, having positive people around you, right? Having a place for yourself and knowing that you are worth something. I still face challenges. I still face biases. I have people make inappropriate comments, right? What do? I have people steal my ideas. Do I sit down and do nothing? No. Sometimes I talk back. Sometimes I just go, okay, it's not worth it, right? So frustration is everywhere, but you know why you are there. You know why you are there to take a course, and you know why you have to change your career, and for me, I had that in me, right? So all the challenges I had at IBM became a growth mindset for me, helped me to be this shy looking girl from Ghana to somebody who can now boldly talk and ask questions. The art of asking questions is great. What should you ask someone to be our mentor? Well, mentors, sometimes it comes naturally. Sometimes too, you can reach out and say, oh, you spoke at so and so conference and I'm inspired by you. You have to have some connection based on my slide, based on some of the things you talk. You align very well of some of my things. Do you mind being my mentor? Right? And the person will respond yes or no. I just started learning about IT. How do you know more and indulge in the industry in a better way? Well, I'll tell you, I have computer science degree in economics, but when I came to IBM, but my master's was in economics, and I went back to IT. So that's what I meant by my job even at ISD was a fluke, right? You have some skills that are transferable. IT is not just about the technical aspect. And in actual fact, in today's world, most of the IT job, we are not looking for just that, because technical things you can learn. The soft skills, relationship building, being able to interact, communicating effectively, all these are things that are not easy to teach people.
Okay, I think there's an issue again, but thank you. Yeah. No, I think I think there's something wrong with her connection. But thank you everyone